Hey guys, we're at Home Depot. It's early Saturday morning. We're going to two jobs. One is a clogged kitchen drain. They say that they had a 25-foot snake going down there and they couldn't get it. Well, maybe because it's not in the drain. Maybe it's in the trap and they don't know how to take that apart. So with that being said, we'll go there, we'll open up the drain, clean out on the outside, fill it up with water with a garden hose and see if it's clogged or not, and we'll handle it. And then we got a vacancy where they need locks on it right away, and us to look at the GFCIs and check everything out because they got tenants moving in on Monday. So anyway, we're gonna head over to the clogged drain first and then we'll go to the vacancy, guys.
To 25 feet, but it's somewhere past 25 feet in there.
So when you run the water through the kitchen, the water runs through freely, so it's not clogged.
Clean out just fine.
Okay, so then we're good that way. We just got to go that way.
It got to go down. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get set up, and maybe we can find some cardboard or something to put there in the mud.
I have a pad you guys can use if you want.
All right, let me take a look. Okay, guys, he loaned us a piece of plywood here. That way we're not playing in the mud. Vinny's running an extension cord over there. We got some pads here. When we're done, we'll wash his plywood off, clean it all up for him. That was nice of him. He's gonna put the plywood long ways that way. Oh, that's gonna be perfect. Yeah, that's perfect, Vinny. All right, let's get the general out, and we'll go with that. All right, guys, he's got it all where he wants it. We got a hose going. It's full of water. It's holding water as we speak. See if you can get that choked up there a little bit closer. Okay, it's on forward. Start right there. I'd like to put the hose in there with it. Something right there, huh? Then if your coils feel rough, Vinny, we can put some WD-40 on them so they don't lock up inside the drum. We could also change the tip to a spade bit if you hit something too. Go back a little bit. Huh?
I'm at it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
It's starting to crawl.
Okay, so what you want to know is that maybe we should be putting a cutter blade on it. You know what I mean? Because all that's going to do if it's rich is tangle up in it, and then you're not going to be able to. Why don't you bring it back out? Do reverse. In fact, we should have went in there with a cutter blade. Make sure you didn't double coil, because when you hear that snap, you got to make sure you didn't spin it in there. Okay, guys, I don't know why I didn't catch that in the first place, but let's put a spade on it first. He's gonna get that pulled out, guys, and let's put, what do you got in there? Nothing? But see, when you're gonna hit those roots, you'll get all tangled up in there. See, there's something there. I don't know what that is.
It's existing.
Okay, so let's go in first with a spade bit, and then we'll put a cutter on it after that. Okay? Alright guys, he got himself some new tips. I'll get a real big screwdriver. That way you don't mess up that head. You know, something. I like to put it on the plywood too. Sometimes lay it on there. Good job. And when you hit that spot again, try to rack it through and then back and forth in that spot and then keep going further. And then we'll change bits again. We'll put a cutter. Try to get your thing over on the wood, buddy. Move that over on the wood. There you go, solid on the wood. Thank you. And when you hit that spot, let the bit do the work. Don't try to push through it all at once. When you hear that really hard slap, always check your coils to make sure they're not wrapping. And also, if you give it like a second in between, like when it's starting to slap like that, just let the don't shove no more cable in. Give it like 3 or 4 turns, okay. Just to work itself out. Yeah, exactly. All right.
I got lucky when I was a mechanic for Lexus for 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got hired on by him as an electrician, but during the 4 years I worked for him, like pretty much everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Framing,
Yeah.
plumbing, everything.
Yeah, that's basically how I've been all my life. But he came out of trades. He went to 5 years of electrical trade school and worked for the Union 7 and got his state license as an electrician, but he wants to learn it all, so here we are. Should we put a little water in there and see what it does?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Can you just kind of shove it there and keep going with the cable? Okay, good. Just keep going. Leave it there. No, I meant leave it right there. It'll drain. Let's see what we get here. I'm wondering if we're going upstream instead of downstream with that cable.
It's going down.
Yeah.
I see it.
Okay. You still got a lot of coils, right?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Good. You can hear the water sloshing, right?
Yeah.
Good. If you ever hear it dry up, then let's put some.
I can still see water coming out, which is
Good.
nice. I think I hit it.
Good.
We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. From there. Watch. You'll see the water go down. We'll see.
Let it work. Are you able to make progress?
Yeah, I'm
Good.
slow, going slow.
Yeah, go slow.
Let's see.
Yeah. See if you can leave that hose there, and okay. See if you can go a couple more feet while that hose is going. Try not to wrap up on the hose though.
Okay.
If you do, stop immediately. That way we don't tear his hose up. And if we're doing good, then we're gonna go and change the blades.
I think with the hose there.
It might be a problem.
It's in an angle where it's coming shooting water out.
Okay. How's it doing right now?
It's going good.
Okay, give it another 5 or 10 feet, and then let's switch the blades.
Okay.
And we'll do that. And then we'll flush it good after. That is a lot of pretty good water coming out of there, so we'll flush it in between. How many coils do you have?
4.5.
4.5 left?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give it 2, and then start reversing it. Because that's 89 feet. Well, it's 90, but we leave 2 feet in the drum. Plus that, so you're about 82. I would say go ahead and start dragging her out now.
Well, it's on?
Yeah, yeah. When it does that, let it, yeah, let it, yeah, break it, yeah. With these old Generals, you have to make sure they don't coil up inside themselves. Remember that one time when you shoved too much in?
Yeah.
So then we have to open it all up and drag it out.
The air on the ball, we need to do one.
You can feel it, right?
Yeah, with the air on the ball.
Most of doing a drain cleaning, Vinny, is all in the feel of the cable. When you can start to see with your hands, that's when you're getting the hang of it. But you know, I can tell when I'm hitting a 90. I can tell, or whatever. You know what I mean? You can just tell when it's a clog or when it's a 90. Most of the time. I'm sure there's times that you can't, but. What's happening, guys, is that that pedal has got to be 28 years old, and it's a vacuum. And I'm sure it's leaking and it's cracked. We need to get a new pedal for that. It's just a rubber bulb. That was a Christmas gift from your grandfather, Vinny. Yeah, to me. I think at the time it was $649. Now they're what, $1,300? Still going. Original belt and everything. I wipe it off with WD-40 each and every time, and it keeps it looking good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, what I do is, well, what he'll be doing when we leave is he'll spray that whole thing down with WD-40 and just wipe the drum off, wipe the belt off, and whatever, and keep it the best you possibly can. Because sometimes you got to go into people's house with that, and they don't want to see something full of crap, and you know what I mean. Yeah, mine is set up different. This one's his, and he did all his own racks and stuff to fit more because mine came with it all, and it doesn't fit anything. It's like, you know what I mean? Especially.
I recently just got this truck, but I had a Chevy 2500 that I was using for a long time, and I got in an accident, got totaled. My insurance rented me one of these, and I had it for about a month, and man, it was really nice having that.
Yeah, isn't it? I all my vehicles used to be, My first one was a Ford with a harbor service bed on it. I always loved trucks.
Yeah.
Then I bought a Chevy with a harbor on it. So I've always had trucks. This is the first, well, no, it's the second van. My first one was a 2001 that I just got rid of 2 or 3 years ago. It was 22 years old, but it just started nickel and diming. So I got rid of it. Yeah, your truck looks good. And you got it covered so that way you can.
I had to get it covered.
Yeah. You can't be loading and unloading.
Yeah. I had a shell on my old truck, and I had to crawl in there to get my stuff. It was a pain in the butt.
You know, you can get that back wired. That way if somebody opens it or tries the lock, it'll go off the alarm. They have a way of putting that magnetic, if you get alarm.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a way. If you get the right person, the minute that top lifts and separates on the magnet, it'll set an alarm off. You might want to, you know.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Not so much here in your neighborhood, but
Yeah.
like at Lowe's. Everybody tries to get in on me at Lowe's
Yeah, my old
and at Home Depot.
got broken into twice, and it got stolen. So
Wow.
they ended up getting it back. They found it in East LA like a couple days later.
They tried to steal mine. They punched the lock out, but my alarm went off, and it scared the hell out of them. And that was at my house.
Yeah, that's what they did to mine. They just took a screwdriver.
Yeah, that's what they did to mine. It was a screwdriver. And what happened was, it was 1 in the morning, and I heard the first hit, and then on the second hit, the alarm went off, and I had a laser on his ass, and he was looking all over, wondering where that laser was. And they were parked on the other side of me where I couldn't see them. And they got in the van, in their car, and they darted off. And I didn't want to report or anything. I just wanted to let them. I just called and I said, "Hey, you guys got some guy running around here checking locks and doing this. And do you want to report?" I said, "No, but just." Yeah. And then I got a phone call the next morning, and they caught this guy with some other guy in his car going around to other vehicles, and they got him at one of the vehicles. Pretty sure it was the same guy that, you know. So what do we got, Vinny? Nothing came out on it? Okay. Then it's probably all, it's not roots, it's just a blockage. It's crispy, you know what I mean? It's just all kinds of crispy buildup. And what happens is, when you hit that crispy buildup, Vinny, and with the water, it just floods it, takes it down the line. If it would have been roots, you might have come up with something. Now I see a little something, but we'll know when you send your cutter in there. But go ahead and let's switch to one blade.
One of these?
Yeah, do a single. You'll have better luck with that single on one side. And then we'll go from there. Okay, Vinny. All over again. Crusty, I think, like.
It literally just happened.
And you haven't even been here that long, you know. I remember when it was vacant, we were here doing something. I think it was a kitchen leak or something. But
yeah, we've been here for a little over a year.
yeah, that ain't long at all.
Yeah.
This stuff takes years. The kind of stuff that we're hitting is just crusty buildup that takes years and years to. That was really nice of you to loan us the cardboard, plywood. And we'll make sure when we're done with it, we'll hit it with water and clean it up a little bit. If there are roots in there, Vinny, it'll wrap up on that blade and rip it apart, and you'll come out with something. But if it's just the crusties, then and it wasn't grease because, well, it could be years of grease crusted up, but if it was fresh, you'd have it all over your cable. And it's not. Yeah, that ain't. Now, the thing about that blade, Vinny, that blade will lock up on you good if you hit rust, so be prepared to take your foot off. Because you don't want to, if you hit something and it wraps up, then what I like to do is, I don't want to hit reverse unless I have to, because you'll leave it back in there. What I like to do is, if you hit it and you wind up and your cable starts to fold, I like to just start retrieving it, you know.
Maybe do like a slow rotation.
Yeah, you can do maybe yeah. First, I'll try to stay forward in forward gear, and then give it a little tug and break it loose. And then what I usually do, if it's starting to do that, I might go in one more time and let it jam up a little bit, and then rip it back and then clean it, bring it out and clean it.
All right.
But I think you're just gonna hit the crusties. Just go, because you know the clog is down a ways, so just go back to the 4 cables or 3 cables. Guys, you never want to bottom out your what do you call that? Your no, your what's the proper, I forget the proper. Yeah, your drum. You never want to bottom out your, run all the cable out. Because then what happens is there's a little screw that holds the end of that cable, and most likely you'll flip it out of position. Then you'll have to open it up, put it all in there. You might have to put a drill motor on the cable to get some of it out, and then once you get some of it out, then you can put it back in. But if you leave at least if you leave at least a coil to at least 2 coils in there, you won't have that problem. Never go past 2 coils. Now leave it there and let it do the work. See if you can, don't push in no more. Just let that blade chop shit up. Okay, go back over that spot. Bring that back just while it's turning. Because you want to be cleaning it on the outward motion, and you want to be cleaning it on the inward motion. The only time I'm not turning it, there you go. Now come back again and do it again. Do it 2, 3, 4 times. There you go. That's what you call giving the customer their money's worth. Okay, now do it again, and this time you can keep going forward. How many coils are you on?
Quite a
Bit.
bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like 12.
Okay. So until you have 4 or 3. The old general. I was living at Harbor Breeze Apartments, and so that would be, this has got to be at least 29 years old. We stayed there about 5 months, 6 months, and got qualified for a loan and bought a house. Then he bought a house, but he decided to rent it and stay with us because he's single. So he's
grocery, free water.
Because this cable, Vinny's $300 just for the cable.
The best way I can say.
No, I saw what you did. It looked good.
It goes like this, and then when it starts twisting, it gets real tight.
Uh-huh.
I get off the pedal, and then all of a sudden
It
kind of
skips.
like just skips and
Yeah.
it releases its
Good.
tension.
How many cables do we have?
Quite a bit, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Keep going.
7, 8, 9.
Can we try flushing it before you pull it all the way out?
Yeah.
That way, go ahead and put the hose in there, and I'm going to open and close it. Let me know if I get a little bit too crazy. I just want to flush it really good.
Just listen for me for a little bit.
Yeah, unless you can just... Can you retrieve it with it in there, or no?
I wouldn't. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to go try it. Alright guys, I'm going to go open up the hose to flush that really good while the cable's in there. It's wide open, Vinny. Is it taking it? Alright. Usually I like to keep the hose in there and blast it while he's pulling the cable out, but because it goes in so deep and down, pulling the cable out just pulls the hose out with it. So I had it wide open. Yeah.
You want to leave it wide open just for like a minute?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright guys, he flushed it. Trying to keep the hose in there. Will not be all that good. Picture here. Now, you know how you were having an issue with that one spot? That'd be good for this guy. This is for 1.5 to 2, but it will tear up whatever's in there a lot better than the blade. But I think we pretty much got it, so. I think we're gonna have to get something with a bigger cable now for you, since you're into this. I would have loved to have gone in there with something bigger, you know what I mean?
Good.
Now, if you were to pull out roots or something, then we'd be going back in until we got, you know what I mean? Until there's no more roots. Well, at least we got it, guys. Yeah, so you hit some nice crusty stuff, no roots. So that's good. All right, let's pack up a little bit and we'll clean up a little bit. I'm gonna get the hose and we'll flush it one more time. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got that wide open. So I'm sure that's good. I'm gonna go shut it off. Okay, guys, I'm gonna dope up that cap.
When you got that cap on, I'm gonna turn the.
Sure. Yeah, he's putting some plumber's dope on the cap right now. That way, whenever you need it off, it's more like a lubricant than anything. But yeah, just wipe out all that excess water on the threads over there with your finger. Just scoop it out.
Okay.
That's plenty. Scoop that water out with your finger.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
That don't work.
That's good.
That's it.
Reverse first, yeah. There you go, buddy. I wouldn't over tighten it. I don't know how bad the threads are. You can put some channel locks and give it a quarter turn. We'll wipe all that off. Huh?
In my hands.
Yeah.
That's it.
Go ahead, try your sink and see how she does. Okay, what we'll do is change your gloves and get a piece of paper towel and wipe that nicely.
Not a garden hose?
No, because that's waterproof.
Oh, yeah.
And then pick up all your parts, and then what I'll do is I'll get this plywood over here and start hosing it down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Clean up the mess. Okay, guys, I'm going to put this phone down for a while. I'm going to clean up he's going to wipe the wall off with paper towel and pick up his parts and start rolling this up, and I'm going to clean the plywood off. So we'll wipe this off at home. Cool. Yeah, just wipe all the plumber's dope off. Good? Good. Yeah, he put plumber's dope on that so it won't be dribbling and leaking. He's just cleaning it off, all the excess. That looks good, Vinny. Perfect. Okay, get all your stuff off that plywood. I'm going to put the phone away and clean off the wood. Okay, guys, Vinny's got that all cleaned up, all washed off. We washed his black hose off, put it in his trailer. It was nice of him to loan it to us. We put his garden hose back at the front here, all coiled up in that thing over there, and we washed his, that's mold, that's not us. We cleaned it spotless with a brush and water. Same on this side, spotless. So now we're gonna go put that in his trailer, and he went for a bike ride, so he's happy. And we're just gonna put that away and we're done. We gotta go to our second job. Snake master. No, I am gonna get him a bigger snake now because he's into this. Because, you know, I was backing out of this business a year and a half ago. So with that being said, I'm going to get him a bigger snake, something that won't coil up inside the line as much. But anyway, I think he said inside. So maybe edgewise if you could.
Pull that corner a little bit.
Sure. There you go.
Let's see if it'll fit corner.
Sure.
Side.
Oh, it does fit. Look at that. Shit. Good estimation, Vinny. Look at that. Put some firewood next to it. See that firewood? Yeah, put a little of that next to it. And we're good to go.
Or should I lay it flat?
No, leave it like that. That way it airs out and it dries up. Okay, we're good. Let's go put your snake away. We'll wipe it off at home with some WD-40 later. We got to go to that Vacancy. I don't have time to wipe it down right now, but a little WD-40. It has a drain hole, guys, on the bottom. You just line up the hole to the bottom, and everything that's in here, all the water, you can see the hole right there. Right there, there's the hole, right? I don't see if you can see a little daylight right there. See that daylight? That's what it drains and dries. So I always make sure that hole is down. All right, and you got all your accessories for it?
Yeah.
All your tips? Nothing's over there. Everything's looking good. Yeah, okay guys, we're all done here. We'll see you at the Vacancy. The only thing I do want to do is have him just coat the coils. If he coats the coils right now, because you'll be surprised, by the time we get home, that'll already be rusting. You'll start to see a rust on it. I like to spray if you could. Not the nozzle. Yeah. And just spray the shit out of the coils, and then make sure that little hole is up, not down. That way you don't lose all your WD-40. Yeah, now just go around that a couple times, and the WD-40 will wrap around all the cables eventually. And you'll, that way, because it's not, we're trying to keep it pretty, guys. If you let that cable rust up, the next time you go to use it, it'll be hard to pull out. And then sometimes when it's hard to pull out, it'll do a wrap inside there, and then you're screwed. Then you got to take this drum off, and you got to untangle it and then put it back. So if you just take a few minutes and a little bit of WD-40 and wet your coils, the next time you go to use that, those coils will still be like that. So, and I mean, that cable's 20-some years old. I should replace it. I'm sure there's a time limit on these. I don't know what it is. I'll have to investigate it. But man, you know, I've kept it like this the whole time. Yeah, just put it on the carpet, because I'm going to wipe it all off while you clean your truck today. Yeah. We got to go to that Vacancy.
I put the hole up.
And then while you're cleaning your truck, I'll wipe this baby off.
Oh, there's 2 holes.
Oh, well, put it, then put it
bottom,
9
side,
at 9 and 9 and 3.
9.
Yeah, put it on 9 and 3. Do you have room for one more snake, Vinny? Because you got to keep that silver one, and you got to keep this one. Will you have room for the fatter one? I think you would. We can get rid of some of this shit that you're not even using. You know what I mean? Generator has to stay.
I can make room.
Okay, good. Because we are going to upgrade, because you don't, this is nice, it worked out good, but there was a couple spots, guys, where I wanted to tangle, and if you would have had a bigger snake to negotiate those hard spots without that wrapping up inside the pipe, that'd been better. Especially when we do toilets. Now, we've been taking a lot of toilets off, and this is just not good for that. It gets it done, but we know that we're going to end up with a problem. So, all right, let's get out of here. Okay, guys, we're at this Vacancy. I don't know if you remember one of the videos. Vinny did a electrical panel at another place. It was 100 amp to a 200 amp with a Tesla charger in the garage as well. This one here was just a straight swap out, 100 amp panel. And the inspector, we like to bury this ground rod. This is a 10 footer. But anyway, we like to bury it deeper, but the inspector was, you know, when he was here inspecting the stucco, he wanted it just like that, 12 inches, and over here as well. And they got their own stucco guy, and you can see there's a big difference between Alicia's stucco patch. Look at that stucco patch. Isn't that awful? Alicia's, you would have never even saw it. But then again, she fades way over. She goes way overkill. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, that was about it. He didn't do the owner, the last tenant did this. We did ours on the other one, but we used the clear stuff, the real good stuff, and his was jamming up on that day. So the Vinny left the guy a list, and the guy did it with his thing here. But anyway, this is what the inspector. There's a few things that we like to do different, but the inspector was clear about it. So, okay, this is going to take 2. Let's see here. It goes like that, and then in, and then up, and then out like that. All right, guys, let's see what we got in here. We got, I'll give you a view of the front real quick. We got door locks to change. Yeah, Vinny, the locks you bought will just go right on top of this shit. So this is outside here. It's I guess they're condos, right? So this is the one we're at. All right, we're gonna get busy. I think what they want is these locks changed to a smart key, and then over here they want a new deadbolt on this gate right here with a smart key, all matching. They wanted this key, but we can't match. This is a whole different kind of key right here, so that was not going to happen. And then just look around and make sure that they have smoke detectors and everything else. It looks like they do. It looks like somebody was, I guess the painters did all that, right, Vinny?
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah, let's go upstairs, guys. Let's take a look up here. We don't got much, so.
Yep, another fan up there.
Hey, yeah, look at that.
Another fan.
Look at that. Why don't you just have them finish off the job? Why do they, you know what I mean? Okay, well. Oh, that's why, because they put in all new stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
So why not? You know, he gives them as much as he can, but.
That's the mirror's not even center. When you get,
Hey, you're right.
well,
Yeah, mirror's not center at all. Light fixture's crooked. Okay, that's everything, guys. We're just gonna go put the locks on. Nothing here for us. We'll go from there. Okay, we noticed that the guy who's been doing the remodels, because we don't do remodels anymore, but you can tell these are all been remodeled, the whole bathrooms. And he gives them the lights too because he's here, and he gets probably a better deal than if we were to come in and do the lights. But they're no fucking electricians, that's for sure. Vinny just opened up the hatch. See, everything's been remodeled. So they give him the lights too for the fans. But Vinny just opened the hatch just to look at the work. And they tied into an existing circuit, which is fine, I guess, you know, as long as you do it right. But Vinny says it's all open. So he's going to get a picture of it right now, and I'll show you what he found. And then, of course, we'll turn it in. Because part of our duty is helping this management company with new. They're not even contractors. These guys don't even have a license. They don't have a license to do anything. I'm sure that might be changing soon, but for now, these guys don't have a license for any kind of construction whatsoever. And they're undercutting our prices, but hey, you know, if I find something wrong, I'm not going to hesitate to show it to the management so he can come out here and fix his mistake. That way this place don't burn down. I don't care what people think of me, but look, this is what he did up there. That's a fire waiting to happen. Look at that. Look at that. Holy shit.
that's the ground.
I don't even, you got pictures?
Yeah,
Look, guys. This is why. This is what you get for cheaper.
They
Okay.
found that one wire and then they roped it.
Yeah. Look at that. This is what you get for cheaper. This is what saves you money right here. All right. Thank you, Vinny. I just knew it.
Because I saw.
Vinny didn't even want to go up there at first, and I said, "You watch. You'll find something." He goes,
I can
"Nah,
see
this
that
looks
go
good."
Go up, and then I was like, wait,
Yeah.
you can get power somewhere.
Okay, what we're going to do, guys, is we don't want to give them shit they don't need. So what we're going to do is we don't know if this is GFCI protected from downstairs or if this one is. So basically we're going to test it. You know, he said put GFCIs there if needed. We don't know if they need it. So we'll start off with a test. We know that the GFCIs are on in the kitchen. There's two of them. So let's see if this trips it. So we'll go here and then we'll hit the test. Okay, guys? And it doesn't trip shit.
You have to press it harder.
Yeah.
Oh, you jumped.
I didn't jump. Okay, let's go over here and test this. So we need a GFCI there. And then I'm hoping this GFCI will protect this one. I'm hoping. Because the This is the light, and then this is, what's this about? Okay, so what we would have to do is put a GFCI here and put the fan on the, put the fan on the light. Just bring that wire over here and then put a full GFCI right here. Because, huh?
A double switch on the right hand side.
Yeah, Vinny's right. Do a double switch on the right hand side. Yeah, and a GFCI here. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. If that one doesn't protect this one, we'll do this one first and see if it protects it. And if it don't, all right. So that's what we're here to do today, guys. We'll walk you through it as we do it. Okay, guys, Vinny's cleaning up his little mess. What he's gonna do first, and then I'm gonna go strip the locks off while he's doing this. He's gonna go ahead and put a GFCI right here, and hopefully it might protect the other one. And if it doesn't, then he's going to take this all out and put a double switch and a GFCI here. We're going to rewire the whole thing. That way, he's got protection here.
I'm going to try the other way first.
That's what I said.
Which way?
What?
Downstairs first.
Why? I just did. I tested them.
You tested downstairs bathroom?
Oh, no. What do you mean downstairs?
Yeah, it was the same setup as the one.
We got another issue here. This is upside down, which is whatever. I don't care. But it's the same thing. It's unprotected. We just tested it. It's not protected anywhere. So he thinks maybe we'll start with this one first. We'll put a GFCI and a double switch. And then see if this protects the other ones upstairs. And if it does, great. If not, then we'll just keep slinging GFCI outlets. Okay, guys, we just tested this one. And this one is good to go. If I hit the test, it's not tripping anything over here. Everything is still on. So maybe we'll start with this one and see if it protects the other ones. So this just is saying that it was tested, but it failed the test, or it's not, connected. But we're back to normal here. So maybe if we do this one first, then we can go to the other ones. Okay, guys, I found the breaker for this, and so I'm going to go over here and see if this bathroom happens to be on the same breaker. It doesn't mean it's upstream. It could be downstream. I don't know. But at least we'll know if it's on the same breaker. So it's on. So it's not. It's on a different breaker. So let me... Yeah, you can do that. Go ahead and put one there, and we'll go from there. Okay, that's on a different breaker too, so we'll have to address these as we go. Yeah, okay. Okay, guys, on some of these older locks, the cylinder holes are too tight. And because the older cylinders back when these locks were put on were smaller, tiny bit. So you just take your bit, and what I do is this one was really tight, but I got her in there and I cleaned her all out. And as you can see how much came out. This one wasn't as bad right here, but it was tight as well. So that will make your lock a lot easier to install. When it's too tight and you're wedging that cylinder up and down and all around, it makes the lock work really stiff. So it's good to keep one of these in your bag, ready to go. I pass this through almost every one that I change unless I can see that it looks just like that, a nice big 1-inch hole. Okay, guys, we got the locks on right here. Got the front door locks on over here. Try not to move the camera so much. So then what we did was Vinny put none of these GFCIs that were over here protected any of the others. So we added one right here because you got to have one by the And you're supposed to have one behind the fridge, but we're not going to do that for obvious reasons. He rewired this right here. Got a GFCI there. It's green. He took the one switch with the outlet, put a double, and then put a GFCI, wired it back in. Same up here, but he's testing the last one that he put in to see if it protects the other bathroom or the little wash area. Let me show you.
Keeps on tripping.
What keeps on tripping?
The GFCI.
Oh, okay. So then what he did was over here, he put a GFCI right here with a switch. And this here, he says, is tripping. So we'll get in there and find out why. It's probably because of that neutral over there. We'll figure it out. This is what we're dealing with. They went in there and they rewired this one. And they rewired that one. Neither of them will hold a GFCI. You go to turn it on and it trips automatic. That's because either here or here they bundled the neutral that goes for this. They bundled the neutral either up here on the light or over here. We're gonna try to find it in here. Look at this sloppy shit. Should have been one double switch here and a GFCI here. They've gotten in here and swapped all the neutrals around where that won't hold. The one downstairs in the bathroom, we got that one. And we got the one by the cooktop. But now we're trying to figure out this one. They just swapped all the wires around and now this won't receive a GFCI, but we'll get it. Okay guys, we're all done with this GFCI. This GFCI was tripping because it's downstream of this guy. And this guy here had a neutral on this double, that one switch with the outlet, and it was interfering. Anyway, we took it apart, got it on its own circuit, if that makes sense. Yeah, it had a jumper on it. That jumper showed to him. That jumper was causing that other GFCI in there to trip. So we got it all sorted out. Here's the light, and here's the fan. And then there's the GFCI, and then the GFCI. Let's see how she's acting over here. All good here. So we're all done with this. But guess what? Remember I showed you those connections? Whoever put these fans in did that connection up there. They don't want to have them come back. So Vinny's going to come here Monday and fix that splice. Probably just the wire's really tight. So what's going to happen is we'll just put two junction boxes. One here, or one here, and a piece of Romex in there. And then have a box to box in order to, because the wire's too tight. It's not like you can cut it, put it in a box. I mean, it is like tight. So we'll cut it, put one in one box, one in the other, and then join it like that. Not even one of those butterfly boxes will work, where you actually just put you just do your connection with your wire nuts and the box goes around it and snaps together. Not even one of those would work because the wires, it's not even wire nuttable. That's why he did tape. I mean, they just bent the wires and taped them. But anyway, we know what the hell we're doing with that. So he'll make it safe and we'll just charge him. But Vinny told him that he would have to look at every fan light to make sure it's wired properly. Yes, it's working. Okay, yeah, it's working. But it doesn't mean that the fucking wires are not all wire taped with tape. You know, we want to actually, if we're going to put our name on it, if we're going to go up to this attic and fix that splice, which goes to these three lights, we got to make sure that all the wiring going to each one of these fans is done right with wire nuts in the proper box. So it's not just fixing the splice. If you're gonna take on somebody else's dirty work, you got to make sure that you go all the way with it. In other words, you're gonna fix that crap up in the attic. So you got to make sure where those 3 wires go to, they're all wire netted properly, they're in the box right, everything is good. Because once you touch that over there in the attic and you fix that splice and one of these go, you know, it's your responsibility as a licensed contractor to make sure that wherever this problem was, if it's new, that the rest of it is in okay condition as well. So he'll do that on Monday. So anyway, we got the locks on, got the GFCIs all sorted out. And then Monday he'll come here with what he needs to do to finish the fan lights. And he said he's just not going to use the guy no more. I said, you should make him come out and fix his shit. And she goes, I just don't trust him. So, because I didn't like the fact we were going to put our hands on it. I told Vinny, I don't want to put our fucking hands on it. Then if something goes wrong with one of those fan lights, it's on us now. So Vinny goes, well, I don't mind. I'll just drop each one of them, and I'll check them, and I'll charge them. So that's what he's going to do. So, all right, guys, we're going to get out of here. It's Saturday. We got the locks all keyed. These are smart keys. I should have done a smart key with you guys. How you take the key and you can smart key. You can make one key fit both. But we just got caught up in what we're doing. So, you know, all the GFCI in here is good too. Right there. So that's all good. Anyway. All right, guys, I guess that's going to be it. We're going to go home, clean Vinny's van, wipe off the snake, and then maybe tomorrow me and Vinny are going to look for another snake and something a little bit bigger and go from there. I used to have one, guys. It was like $2,600. It stood about like this. It's on a hand truck. It was a what brand? A General. It was big. It was a very expensive one. I sold it to a plumber because I couldn't even lift it in and out of my van. I started working by myself. When I had 3 or 4 guys working with me, I had no problem having them load that sumbitch up and down and, you know, all around. And then when I got rid of the guys, that's when I got rid of that snake because I couldn't even barely move it. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Maybe when we get to the house, when we clean up the van, I'll get a little video. All right, guys, we're home. I'm just going to wipe this down and put it away. If I hadn't have sprayed it with WD-40 before we left, all those coils would have started to turn orange already. But if you notice, because he sprayed them all, the coils are still nice and black. So that's pretty good. Oh, there's Alicia feeding her baby boy. She made him a burrito. So, oh, he can make me sick. Shit, I cracked that thing alongside his head. Oh my God.
He's got dirty hands. Okay, there you go.
Shit. All right, guys, we're gonna clean up his van, get it ready for Monday. He's got a lot to put away. A lot of this is extra materials and shit like that. Do what?
I need to run upstairs and make the bed and do laundry. When he's ready, he can come and get me.
Well, our neighbor has got an issue. Our neighbor right here on the right of us just called and said that the reverse osmosis isn't putting out any water, that they changed the filters last week, and now that there's no water, he said he put air in the bladder in the tank. But see, that can be a problem. What happens is if you put too much air in that tank, then your reverse osmosis won't be able to put water over into it. It's got too much pressure. So if you overfill the bladder with air, now you got the water that's in the tank pushing back on the filter. So what you have to do then is you have to break it loose, and you have to drain the water out of the tank. And then once you get the water out of the tank, you can put some air in it, the right amount. I forget what it is, how many pounds it is, but we'll look it up. And then you start over, and then you fill the tank. So we'll have to troubleshoot it. It could be anything, though. They could have put the filters on wrong or in the wrong area. that will make a difference. Anyway, we're going to clean up his van, wipe his machine off, and then we're going to go to our neighbor's house over there and see what we can do. Alright guys, all cleaned up here. Like brand new. You can see it's rusting. It's you know, it's showing its age, but hell, there's really no reason to ever retire it, as long as that motor's running. I mean, yeah, you can buy a new motor for it, but at that point you just probably junk it or find a used motor and then sell it or something. I don't know. Anyway, Vinny's getting his van cleaned up. I don't want to go and do the reverse osmosis without him because I want to teach him a little bit about it. So that's his little lumber department he made there with the side door, and then he's got this door right here as well, so with a little lock on it, so keep some wood in there, scraps. Alright guys, I'll let you know what happens with that reverse osmosis. I'll try to get some video of it as well, so see you in a little bit. Alright guys, we have a reverse osmosis that is not that. Oh, I see what you're saying. It dies way down. Okay, so it could be not enough air in the tank, which we would have to drain the tank in order to repressurize it to the right setting between 7 and 9 pounds. It could be a bad Schrader valve. We can check that. Once we turn the water off, we can see if water comes out of that tire thing, and if it does, then it's got a bad valve, or it could be a bad bladder, or if he just changed it, it was working good until he changed it, so it could be a faulty cartridge. I went through the list and it says it could be a faulty cartridge. Okay guys, we're gonna go through this and see what we can find. Alright guys, normally you turn that valve off and cut the water pressure to the system, and then you empty this out. But I checked the valve to see if it had any air, and it has 0 air in it. And the good news is the water's not leaking out of it. If you go to test that and water comes out of it, then you got a bad bladder. And it's not so much a bad valve, it's the bad bladder that's in there. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to get a pump, and even though it's got water in it, we're going to pump it to see if it makes anything good happen. And if it does, then we'll do it the right way. Then we'll just shut the valve off again. We'll drain it as much as we can with the top's water spout up there, dispenser. And then once it's out of pressure, we'll take that hose off, take it outside, turn it upside down, let it drain, and then you put the air in it and hook it all back up. Okay guys, Vinny's trying to get this thing out. We got it disconnected, everything's off. We got the valve off. We're going to take it outside and try to drain it.
Holy, that's heavy.
Okay, let's take it and let's take it back to our grass and we'll play with it. Okay guys, we brought it over to my house. We're going to drain it the right way. The right way to do that is drain it, get it empty, and then after you do that, then you can go ahead and put your air. For some reason, my air didn't want to go into that tank, because I always test them a little bit. You don't always have to get all the water out of it if you're just going to test it. And it seemed like the minute I put my pump on it, it had back pressure instantly. So it's probably just too much water in there for that bladder to even think about filling. So we're going to empty it completely. Okay, open that up. Okay guys, we got the tank upside down on a milk carton, and it's draining. It's real slow, man. I mean, it has no air coming into it. You know, if it had like, you can't. It's not like you can push the air intake. You know, the bicycle. What do you call that thing? A Schrader valve or whatever. Anyway, with that being said, it's not like you can push it and then the air will go through it, because that's in its own. That's got its own membrane. There's no water and air mixing unless it's screwed up. Okay, we're trying different angles to burp it. Yeah, it's called the shaker, right? Mm-hmm. We'll get it eventually, guys. We were thinking about taking a wire and sticking it in there. That way you get a little air between the wire and maybe help it. But he's got something going on over here. Hey guys, theoretically I should be able to put air in this bladder without even having a valve on here. No air should come through here. This is for the water. This little bladder fills it's like a black thing. It's a black membrane that comes down like this, and the air pushes the bladder up and gives it some. Let's just try it. Let's see if we can get this at maybe. Turn this on, put it at 8 pounds. There's 8, let's see what it does. Okay, for some reason, I'm not able to get air. I'm having the same problem. Everything is right here. This is not working right, this valve. So, it's either this guy's not going good enough, see, that should be taking a lot of air in. And then if I push my finger into this, I wonder if this valve is bad. I have a tool for this somewhere, Vinny. Don't you have one for your bike?
No, it's for the skinny ones to go to that.
Alright, I think I have a tool for this where I can take the valve out and see what's wrong with it. Or I'm just not getting this down far enough. Okay, we got the thing on and he's pumping it, but the air's coming out here. So that means that I think this membrane is bad, because it shouldn't have air coming here. You should be able to fill this air up in the bottom of this tank, and it should be able to hold air and just push the bladder up, and then you fill this with water. But there should never be any water coming out of this, and there should never be any air. I'm gonna have to search that. I'm gonna find out right now if I'm full of shit or not. But I don't think. Watch, pump it. See, I don't think there should be people who say, well, it's the air that pushes the water out. No, it's more like the air pushes this bladder up. There's a bladder in here. It starts right here, right where this is. It's a diaphragm. It goes like this. And then when you fill it full of air, that diaphragm pushes up. And it should have 7 to 9 pounds, I think. 7 to 8 pounds, 6 to 8 pounds, whatever it is. And then when the water pushes back down on it, it keeps pressure on it. Okay, guys, I don't have a good understanding of this because I just Googled it. And AI says if you're pumping here and you got the valve off, most likely air will come out of here. But I don't understand, if you have a membrane that separates the air from the water, why would air leave this compartment and come out here? I don't understand it.
No,
but
I'm getting a different answer.
How are you
No,
getting?
when you pump air into the 4-gallon reverse osmosis RO tank, air should not come out of the top. The tank is a sealed unit with an internal bladder separating the air chamber bottom from the top water. Here's what should happen what happens when you pump air into the tank. If the tank is empty, you connect a pump, bike pump or air compressor, to the Schrader valve at the bottom. The air pressure increases. I can't read in front of you. The air pressure increases inside the air chamber, pushing against the bladder. No air should escape from the top because the bladder is sealed. If air comes out from the top, water side, this indicates a rupture or leaking bladder.
Okay, there you go, guys.
Inside the tank, the bladder should keep the air separate from the water. If air is escaping from the water side, the tank needs replacement because it won't hold pressure properly. How to check if the bladder is bad? Shake the tank. If it sloshes a lot, water might have leaked into the air chamber. Press the Schrader valve if water comes out of the air. If water comes out instead of air, the bladder has failed. Check pressure when empty. If it won't hold 6 to 8 the PSI, the bladder may be compromised.
Okay, so see, that's the way I always believed it, to have that black membrane going in here like that, and the air fills up that membrane and pushes up on the water. So there should be no air coming out of here. All right, guys, I'm just going to make sure that I'm on the right track, and then I'll just order them a new tank. Okay, guys, we're getting conflicting information. on the internet. And, that's the only place we can go to. So one says air will come out the top, the other says it won't. I understood it not to because of the bladder, but it does say there's a diaphragm thing in there as well. So what we're going to do before we buy him a new tank, we're going to go ahead and put the valve back on, and then we're going to put 8 or 9 pounds in, and then we're going to hook it up because it's no big deal to hook it up, and then we're going to see if it works. And if it works, good. If it doesn't, then we'll order a new tank. Anyway, Vinny's putting the tape back on. We put it the wrong way.
I put it the wrong way.
So, well, we did because I was watching you do it. So, both our mistake. Anyway, we're going to get this on and get this valve on, fill it full of 8 or 9 pounds, hook it up, and see what happens. If it works, they're good. If it doesn't, then we'll order them a new tank. Okay, guys, we got it all hooked up. We got 9 pounds in it. It's all hooked up. We got the water back on. We got this off. We're going to let it fill up with water, and we'll probably come by and check the tank in a couple hours. All right, guys. Hey, guys, we figured out why there's air coming out that valve. It wasn't because we were pumping air and it was going through the bladder. What we think it was doing is the bladder is like in a U shape, like this. And when we were pumping air, that bladder was going upward, pushing the air that's already in the tank out. So if it's got a damaged diaphragm, we'll know because we hooked it up and it won't hold air. It'll go out the faucet. When you turn on the water, the air will go with it. But if it is a good bladder, what was happening is that U-shaped rubber is being pushed up by the air we're pumping, displacing the air that's on top. So if that makes sense, that's what we think was happening when we had air coming out the top. It was just that rubber pushing its way up as we pumped the air. And then when we let the air out of the top, the rubber goes back down. It's like a cup. I Googled it and looked it up. Anyway, we'll see what it does. We're going to go over there in a couple hours and check it out. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Guys, Finny's going to do some barbecuing for us, some hamburgers, but my daughter's doing her nails. Look at her over here. Anyway, with that being said, the neighbor called and said his tank filled up pretty fast, and it's working good. And I said, well, if it stays that way for at least 24 hours, you're good to go. All right, guys. Well, we'll talk to you next week.